What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming, bringing you. You see that the review for Monday Night Raw. I just wanted to touch upon one thing. Dang, camera. Yeah, which is I guess it's a rumor going around, and thanks to Chris Wrestling Views for getting me hip onto this. And if you want to visit his channel, he also do wrestling reviews. Link would be his name will be down in the description below. But basically, yeah, there's a little bit of a rumor going around that basically Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair will not be competing at, or their match has been canceled at SummerSlam. Now we don't know for sure as of right now, as the Monday Night Raw, they were still advertising that it was going to happen. So it's still like plans are going on as usual, but I just want to put that out there just in case we need to prepare ourselves for the fact that for the second time in a row, Bianca Belair will not be competing at a pay-per-view or defending her title at a pay-per-view. But with that being said, I'll keep you updated throughout the week if something change. We'll see when I do the video for SmackDown if anything changed then. But for right now, let's get into Raw. Raw. Get back to my beginning page here. This was the this is the go home show too for SummerSlam, and I think they said this is the first time. I guess what's unique about this SummerSlam and the fact that it takes place on Saturday is that this is the first SummerSlam since 1992 to take place on a Saturday. Which makes it that much long because I'm 31 years old, and the last time a SummerSlam would take place on a Saturday, I was 2 years old. Randy Orton started off Monday Night Raw, basically coming out to try to give an explanation onto why he RKO'd. Because people wanted to know why he RKO'd Matt Riddle, and he said, "I really don't have to give an explanation, but I will give you one." A slightly explanation, and he basically said it's just because I am the Viper, I am Randy Orton, y'all all know I don't need / want friends, and that I'm a 14-time world champion for a reason. I've done it all on my own. I don't need help. I don't want help, and that's basically how he wanted it. He just did it because he wanted to send Matt Riddle a message that he didn't want to be a tag team with him. This will bring out Matt Riddle, who basically came out in a comical fashion, one of them like airhead moments where he was just like, I know why you RKO'd me last week. He said, Randy was like, I hardly doubt that you know why I RKO'd you last week, but go ahead. And he said, you RKO'd me last week to teach me a lesson. And Randy Orton was like, you think I RKO'd you to teach you a lesson? He's like, yeah, because I've been using your move while you was gone, and I wasn't doing it properly, so you RKO me and show me how to properly do it. Randy Orton just like, wow. He just basically go, wow. Okay. But yeah, so then he tries to get Randy Orton to reconsider and reunite RK Bro. Before Randy Orton could give an answer, AJ Styles will come out with Omas. Because earlier in the promo, I forgot, Randy Orton also mentioned that he will be facing Omas later on tonight. And that's what AJ Styles mostly first came out to taunt Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. Telling Randy Orton he enjoys seeing Randy RKO Matt Riddle, and that he's tired of hearing RK Bro and the fans chanting RK Bro. So he basically said, why should Omas have on the fun? And he basically challenged Matt Riddle to a match, which would be the first match of the night. That match was going good. Randy Orton was at ringside, but then he would walk away, leaving Matt Riddle to the mercy of Omas and AJ Styles, which he did succumb to because when Matt Riddle finally got a good offense going and was getting ready to put AJ Styles away, Omas would distract Matt Riddle, allowing AJ to hit the Style Clash or Matt Riddle for the win. I think it was a backstage segment about where they interviewed Matt Riddle how he felt about Randy Orton leaving him, and he basically did like he basically did a sad moment that makes you want to go, aww. Because he was like, I'm just feeling heartbroken. Matt, he just, at first it was an RKO, then he just leaves me high and dry and to the mercy of AJ Styles and Omas, and he was just basically truly heartbroken. It was just like, and you could hear the crowd was just like, oh, like it's like they try to make Matt Riddle like this funny, adorable heel that you just hate to see something bad happen to him because he's so kind-hearted and good. But yeah, AJ Styles will end up winning that match. The second match was Rhea Ripley versus Nikki Ash, which again, just like the Matt Riddle match, it was a good match, but it was a match. These two matches had one thing in common, along with the third match. They all been matches we've seen before, and they all been matches that we've seen before, and might even have the same result. Just like we seen a match where Riddle beat AJ Styles and vice versa, and this match was no different. Rhea Ripley will end up beating Nikki Ash. Like I said, it was a good match. Rhea Ripley showed her dominance, but it was just a match we already seen. The third match would be Drew McIntyre versus Veer and Shanky. And the thing about this match that I want to point out was that it was like a lot of confusion. It seemed like it was a lot of confusion because the match was just advertised as like a normal 2-on-1 handicap match, a match we already seen before. And then it's like they realized it, so they hurry up and try to add the stipulation that, but this time, if Drew McIntyre could beat Veer and Shanky, they'll be barred from ringside during Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre's match at SummerSlam, and it just felt like this match was like very confusing up to the end, because even Drew McIntyre, after winning, because he ended up beating Veer and Shanky, he even mentions in his promo after the match how weird he said. But he didn't say how weird. He just said apparently Veer and Shanky now would be barred from ringside. So he basically alluded to the fact that not even he knew that was going to be a stipulation of the match. He just basically found out at that time. So it was like that match was a colossal mess that nobody knew what they was going to do with it until that very moment the match was on, and they just like, oh wait a minute, we gave them the same match, but let's put like a stamp on it. So that's basically what they did. I was trying to keep going while I was rearranging my camera. Yeah, so, then Drew McIntyre basically tell Jinder Mahal that at SummerSlam he's going to, he's just going to do more than just whoop his ass and, beat him. He's going to embarrass him and make an example out of him, because that's how he know where to hurt him. And that, what did he expect would happen when you screw him and cause him his last opportunity to get at the WWE Championship. Now he can't win the WWE Championship unless Bobby Lashley lose the championship. We would get John Morris's first ever Morris TV show, and his first guest was The Miz. And John Morris said it was a little complex, like he had something on his mind that he wanted to get off his chest. And we found out that thing was that he suspected that what we all knew. He wanted to ask The Miz, did he fake his injury? And he did. He asked The Miz, did he fake the injury? Miz basically tried to make up excuses, saying that he would never lie. He would never lie to him. He did that usual, hey, John, little thing. And then, but Damian Priest would come out, basically goat Miz into revealing, taunting Miz and goading him into revealing that he has been medically clear for weeks, and that he would just, because this was his first injury, that he blamed Damian Priest for the fact that he was injured. I think Damian Priest was trying to allude to the fact that he was never injured at all, but he revealed that he was injured, and that he said, but the thing is, you don't know how long it's going to take you to recover, and fortunately for him, he recovered really quickly, was medically cleared, and then You know, he basically was saying he was making it clear for weeks, but he only lied to protect himself because he didn't know that he was going to re-injure himself again if he went back so quickly. He never had an injury before, so it was some basically saying he was scared. This would lead John Morrison to making a match It seemed like he was going to say them two versus them two or himself versus Damian Priest, but he actually made the match suggested that the Miz go up against Damian Priest. And they end up having this match, which would be the next match after this promo, which is Damian Priest versus The Miz, which was a good silent match. You know, there was a little bit back and forth, a little bit of head games, because I think Sheamus would come out during that match and basically try to distract or try to get in the head of Damian Priest. But Damian Priest would turn the tables by beating The Miz using the bro kick, which angered the Sheamus to the point where he had to cut a promo saying that, you know, he was being a disrespectful jackass by using his finisher. But then he said, enjoy your time in the spotlight, enjoy this moment, because at SummerSlam he said, I might be wearing a face mask, but when I get done with you, because I'm gonna kick your head off your shoulders, you won't have a mask to even be put, you won't have a head to put anything on. This would bring me to the backstage segment where John is confronted by The Miz about why he did what he did, and John Morrison said basically, I wanted to show you how it felt to be me, how it felt to be used and stuff like that. And The Miz like, maybe, you know what, you're right, man, maybe I did deserve it. But they make amends, water on the bridge, they back friends again, they making plans to do what comes to them next. This will bring me to the next match, which is Mace versus Mansoor. Mansoor did his thing. Mace basically was there being a brute, and basically Mansoor would get their pin thanks from the help of Mustafa Ali, who basically took a cue out of the Rey Mysterio's and Usos playbook, and like basically he did like a kick to the back of he did like a drop kick to, I think it was to Mace. Yeah, he did a kick to Mace, which flipped him on the opposite side, allowed Mansoor to get the pin on him. The next match would be Randy Orton versus Omas, which was a good match in itself. It was a very good match. Yeah, it was a very good match. It was different. You know, you got to see someone of Randy Orton's caliber and talent go up against Omas, and Omas basically still dominated. He still dominated the majority of the match. Even when Randy Orton got some offensive flurries in, he would end up still get dominated by Omas. Omas would toss AJ Styles. Omas would toss Randy Orton out to the ring in front of AJ Styles, and while the referee was distracted, AJ Styles was like, keep him right there, and he would turn and kick Randy Orton in the stomach. But little did he know the referee didn't stay looking at Omas for too long. So when he turned, as the referee was turning to see Randy Orton, he caught AJ kicking him, which would disqualify Omas, giving Omas a loss and Randy Orton the victory for the match. But it didn't stop there. Because of the anger for them being DQ, they started to beat up on Randy Orton, basically trying to, maim him and embarrass him, until Matt Riddle would come out and basically attack both Omas and AJ Styles, sitting them running back. And Randy Orton would grab the mic to talk about respect and how respect around here in the WWE is not given, it's earned, and then how, despite everything he did to Matt Riddle, leaving him earlier in the night in his match, RK on him last week, and telling him that he don't want to be a part of RK Bro anymore, he realized that he didn't respect him at first, but now he do. Now he got respect for Matt Riddle to the point where he's like, you know what, let's do it. That's RK Bro is back. They hug it out and make it official, and they end up challenging AJ Styles and Omos to a match at SummerSlam for the Raw Tag Team Championships. We would get Karrion Kross versus Jeff Hardy. They were asking Jeff Hardy backstage about Karrion Kross and how he was going to overcome his loss last week to Karrion Kross, to which to which Jeff Hardy was getting ready to answer, or he did answer, but he would get attacked from behind by Karrion Kross, who left him out in backstage. This would carry on to the next match, where Jeff Hardy basically reeling from the attack. He basically couldn't get any amount of offense in, and what he did, Karrion came back with a counter to the point where he hit the cross jacket and submitted Jeff Hardy again. So that makes Karrion Kross your winner of this particular match. I remember they said it was a rumor that Karrion Kross and Jeff Hardy were supposed to be trading victories. It looked like they scrapped it and just kept giving the victories to Karrion Kross, probably because people was making fun of Karrion Kross for losing to Jeff Hardy in his debut match. We would get the last match of the night, which was Nikki and Ria versus Charlotte and Nia Jax, and this was because in the first, like I said before, in the first match with Ria and Nikki, Charlotte was out there taunting them. It was at ringside. They ended up jumping her. She ended up getting told by Alan Pearson, Sonya Deville, that she wanted to get payback tonight. She had to go find her a tag partner and they'll make it official, or she could wait till Saturday to get her revenge. And we see that she ended up choosing the tag team match. The match went as expected. They, with Nia Jax on board, they dominated the majority of the match, to which Nia Jax had the match won, was getting ready to put the match away, but Charlotte Flair would end up tagging herself in. And then she hit the natural selection, or she hit something on Rhea and got the pin 1, 2, 3. We got the final promo of the night, which was Goldberg and Bobby Lashley face to face. MVP with trash talk Goldberg, saying that they think Goldberg is overcompensating for stuff and that he had no business being in this match, or that they try to warn him about being in this match. This will lead Bobby Lashley to take over and tell Goldberg that he tried to get him be merciful and give him the chance to back out of this match, but since he's too damn stubborn to back out of the match, he said that he's going to do it himself. So at SummerSlam, he's going to beat and embarrass Goldberg and send him back into retirement. Goldberg would then, Goldberg cutting a promo about his son, who his son was, or why he came back, was interrupted by this promo. He would tell Bobby Lashley, he would get in Bobby Lashley's face and tell him that he's full of BS. And Bobby Lashley, like, did this dude just talk to me like that? Looking around, he takes off his belt, give it to MVP, and then he goes to one side of the ropes. Obviously, Goldberg was just like, calm down. It's like, everything's gonna be okay. I'm calming down. Then he would turn around and try to attack Goldberg, but Goldberg would spear him. Call his son to come up with the barricade, and as they stand tall, this time his son looked a little bit more lively. It looked like last week he was just angry, but last time he was there he was angry, but this time he looked a little bit more happy. Let's see, was there anything about the match? Nope, that'll be it. That's all. I was trying to figure out, did I cover everything about that? But yeah, that was it. That's the promo. They ended it like that. If I were to give this episode a SmackDown anything, man, what would I give SmackDown? I said SmackDown. Episode of Raw. If I would give Raw anything, I would give Raw 6 big ups. Because for a go-home show, remember, this is not only being graded as just a regular Raw show. This is graded because this is a go-home show. This is the go-home Raw show, right? And this was not a good go-home show at all by at least. First of all, besides the promo was okay. I enjoyed the beginning promo with Randy Orton. But having the first, second, and third match be matches that we already seen before, albeit with Drew McIntyre, they basically tried to, in the middle of it, change to give it a stipulation. I don't know what they was doing with it. It felt like it was a big clunk of mess, but yeah, like the first, like I said, the Matt Riddle versus AJ Styles, seen it before. Rhea versus Nikki, seen it before. Drew versus Veer and Shanky. Seen it before. It's just like, okay, the first 3 matches was horrible just because it was 3 matches that we already got before, and it was no need for it. I love the John Morrison Moist TV moment. You know, it was a cool segment. The only thing I didn't like about it was they was quickly to try to patch things up between the Miz and John Morrison. Like, they should have kept that going and see was there going to be a split between the two. The Damian Priest versus the Miz match was okay. They didn't have no problem with it. It did what it needed to do for the Miz and to hype up a little bit more of Sheamus versus Damian Priest. I like the little backstage moment with the Miz and John Morrison because New Day just as golden opportunity they could be just came out of nowhere. It was like, hey, they doing a promo. Let's advertise our stuff, you know. So it made me laugh. So I gave that a pass. Didn't care for the Mansoor match. The Mace versus Mansoor is the same, just like the other matches, the same matches we got before. I love the Randy Orton versus Omas match because that match was actually a decent match. It actually showed because the Omas could even hang with, you know, for a 14-time world champion. I would have rather Omas got the pinfall victory here, but still, nonetheless, you know, it was a match that was a good match. It wasn't a bad match. Yeah, the Karrion Kross match versus Jeff Hardy. That to me lost its luster a long time ago, but it is what it was. Like, it wasn't bad nor good. It was just that again, where's my boy Keith Lee? This is the second time now my boy Keith Lee is missing again. You know, why is my boy Keith Lee missing? The final promo was actually good. I love the final promo with Goldberg and, you know, Goldberg and Bobby Lashley. It was nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It was a good promo, good way to end it, but it just was hindered by a bad booking and bad show, man. Yeah, I only could give it a 6. That's being generous. I could have gave it a 5, which was okay or horrible, but I gave it a 6 just because it was some stuff that saved it for being a horrible rating show. But yeah, that's all I got. I will say that the other reason why I gave it a low score because they don't have to keep giving us the same match over and over with the same people. If they're in a feud, you could give us those same people in different matches with people possibly building up new feuds while you still concentrating on this old feud, but you keep giving us the same people. And I've been noticing that lately. Every time somebody's in a feud, you keep giving us the same match with those people week after week after week up until the pay-per-view. You don't need to do that. You really don't. And that's a stupid way to do it. But that's all I got. I'm out of here. If you enjoyed this video, then hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my wrestling review videos. And if you really enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, then hit that like button, subscribe button, and hit that notification button when you get notified when I drop videos. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go nowhere because I got one more video for you. And that's another review video.